This is just a fast video on the go. We're gonna mark this one here. It's actually funny how people appear to be logical, rational, calm, and the distance police goes to make them look innocent. This black guy that you see right there was involved in Mount Everest of torture. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about this guy here. It says here, Texas dad who moved to Russia to escape Vogue, America is sent to the, obviously, to the front lines. If you do some video search about this guy here, then it becomes clear that he was not sent. It appears that he volunteered for front lines. You're just gonna have to watch this video here. Both were involved, not only the guy that you see, but with his family, but also this guy here. That's very important to me. Before he even became a journalist for the Telegraph, he was implicated in MK Ultra. Obviously, he is a journalist for the Telegraph, and he knew all about this case here. He did interviews, meetings. His name is Derek Huffman, therefore with a Derek Huffman who moved to the small town of Istra. Istra is the name of the town. There were many towns like Istra in my case. Many towns like Istra in my case. That's Istra in Croatia, not too far here from where I am from. Just along the Adriatic coast, and it is important because, I don't know, Vladimir Putin said that he named one as Istra simply because of this place here, which he loved to travel to, right along the Adriatic coast. That's Istra also, so not too far from where I am. There you go. But the place we are talking about is located in Russia, and before this place was even a city, I was there. I was in many locations across the Russia that did not have any kind of city status, villages, whatever, and the only thing that happened, settlements, the only thing that happened was they grew up into the cities. Great many. You understand? Great many. This is a city located just 20 miles, they say, of Moscow. In fact, over the west side of the Moscow, right there, the way you see it right there. Once this became a city, they continued to keep me around here in the city. I was here inside of this city a million times, not only one time. That's what it feels like. That's literally what it feels like. Let's go back to this guy here. His name is Derek Huffman. His wife was promised to me as a future wife. This guy is 46 years old. I'm 53, 7 years old or senior to this guy. And it just didn't happen so. she got married for him. And the best about all this stuff is he saw himself in an Azerbaijani president now who is heavily involved in this stuff. Aliyev, he claimed that he looks just like him and that he already know where his place is, etc., etc. Not really. This is Azerbaijan. This is not Russia, for one thing. And second thing is, Americans, all Americans were doing this kind of stuff. They were all doing this kind of stuff. He was involved in a lot of torture, this guy. His wife became involved in a lot of torture. I think that those are the sisters that are presented here in the video. This pretty here, this cutie here.
Him on the front lines. He feels like he's being thrown to the wolves right now.
No, he doesn't feel like he was thrown into the wolves.
With me, I have joined the
Russian military. Okay, that was his plan already. That's what's interesting. That's why I'm video recording this stuff. Otherwise, I would not be video recording this stuff. Just like this guy have seen himself in the man I demonstrated you right here. There's just so much information that I did a lot of work today, and so I said I'm gonna do one more video. This guy here that you see, and he makes this evident.
Christian utopia, and they've been vlogging their whole journey. They say they are fleeing an American ideology that has enlisted in the Russian army to prove his commitment to his new homeland.
I have joined the Russian military. Big reason I'm doing it is for the citizenship. So if I sign a 1-year contract and I go and serve it, my family and I all get Russian citizenship.
The thing is that this guy was a spy, a private spy of Donald Trump. Not only he knows Donald Trump personally, is a very close friend of Donald Trump, but he did espionage for Donald Trump. It's not his first time in this city, Istra. He traveled to the Russia on God knows how many occasions. This guy here, I want you to pay attention to the lips.
War aims, quoting justification.
This was like the looks of diarrhea that you get, that I got during MK Ultra was from, well, in this case, this is definitely young kid that you see right there who posed in my face. Actually, I'm trying to say a nobody. Who posed in my face as somebody for whom I should definitely stay alert, attentive, and push aside my hypocrisy, push aside my prejudice, because obviously that he is a British, and obviously that he is a very important person, and he was letting me know this stuff by the way he moved the lips. He demanded from me to identify him as Alexander Vucic. He knew about my rejecting people based on their physical looks, and it's something that had nothing to do with him. However, people would do this so they could get in the pants of that other side. That's, in that case, Russian Serbian side. So this guy here, before I even knew anything about him or anything, he reminded me of the facial characteristics of I don't think I should say this guy or whatever. I think that I should title him. I think I should title him His Majesty, the journalist of Telegraph. No. This is how he demanded for me to see one as. Vucic has this lips, very interesting facial characteristics like that, and I don't know, unless this guy here is a son from Alexander Vucic, which I don't think he is, but he did demand it from me to see Vucic in him, and at the same time a reporter from Britain, a Telegraph. Unless he is a son of Vucic, etc., just the stuff that I stated, he must be, unless he is, he must be a majesty of some kind of majesty from Britain. He's got to be something really, really special about it.
Since we reached out to the Huffmans to find out, but they declined an
along the video, as I watched that,
the
there is a portion of it that actually reminds of who he was during MKUltra. I possibly could not make mistake about
on
this
YouTube.
guy.
The Huffmans have been proudly sharing the virtues of their new Russian life.
We went to
Utopia, and they've been vlogging their whole journey. They say they are fleeing an American ideology that wants to control them.
I guess it started a couple of years ago with the LGBT indoctrination of kids.
we are just
No. From what I recall, the ending of this man here, therefore of his name is Huffman, yeah, and wife is DeAnna Huffman. From what I recall, his endings, he would have been killed already before he would get anywhere. I understand he would have ended up being killed even in this city. He contemplated on disappearing off the map, which is not weird stuff at all, because this guy is a spy. This is a private Donald Trump. You know, there is no private, fuck that. This is a different division, or FBI, Central Intelligence Agency, espionage. They have some espionage dedicated to the Ukraine. They have another one dedicated to the Russia. They have another one dedicated to whatever country, etc., issues, and so on and so forth. So this FBI CIA spy is from the division of the Russian spies in the U.S. government. And so they made it look like this would be a private man from Donald Trump. Fuck that. Nobody in the U.S. government ever was private. Every one of these politicians that you read about on the internet, Sanders, every politician that you see, they all, together with the Trump, they all were meeting one another in the background. They all were doing business with one another in the background of it all. So you don't fucking talk to me about the Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump, and etc., 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 when these people were completely connected to what one was doing, everybody knew. However, whatever one was doing, obviously you will not be capable to do the stuff without the CIA clearance. So that's the stuff I'm trying to accent. The CIA, FBI had their employees in different divisions, different departments dedicated to different issues, different countries, etc., etc. So if they were dealing with the Russians, they had certain people. If they were dealing with Ukrainians, they had other people, and that's the way it went. Donald Trump, I did tell this guy that he will get nicely killed once he's gonna came to Ukraine, etc., etc. Donald Trump, however, repaired me. Donald Trump told me that, together with Vladimir Putin, this is a friend of Vladimir Putin, this guy. He knows Vladimir Putin personally. Shoigu, Vladimir Putin. Shoigu spent a lot of time here in Istra, by the way. Before the Istra became known as a city, before the Istra became known as a city, Shoigu spent a lot of time here. Donald Trump fixed my statements that he's gonna get killed in Ukraine, and he told me, no, he's not gonna get killed in Ukraine or whatever, dummy. I'm gonna give him a signal when to join Russian military, meaning that he will be joining Russian military when situation for the Ukrainians would be already totally helpless and the war would be nearing end, obviously in favor of the Russian victory. And I did explain everything how Americans do this business. There is a beautiful video I have dedicated right here, The Gentlemanic Way. I described in a most beautiful way for those of you that are interested in what exactly Americans are doing. They're doing it what is known as a gentlemanic way. Okay? The gentlemanic way. This is a well explained right here, the gentlemanic way about the Ukraine. Everything you need to understand, the way American psychology, the way they work, the U.S. government, all you got to do is you just have to watch this stuff here. You will understand everything. All about American politics. You don't need to go to America to know everything about America. You watch this video here and you know everything about America before you even get to America. Highly recommended for every diplomat. This is the way it was. He talks here about how Russian citizenship is gonna be, we're gonna earn the Russian citizenship, etc., etc., etc. He was already selected, programmed to disappear off the map before he would get absolutely anywhere, even out of the city, that somehow he would get killed. Just like this. They went on to study the possibilities of how to make one disappear. Then they came up with Vladimir Putin then came up with a second option, which would assist this guy in disappearance through another location where he would go for a training. So this video definitely is going to fuck him up. Donald Trump is definitely... Why do you think I stated this shit here about this journalist? It's such a bizarre stuff that I stated in this video and so on. I stated it because Donald Trump can never say that this man is not his personal acquaintance, his personal friend, man who in front of me got, upon previous request to Donald Trump asking him for a small favor, and that's basically to immigrate to Russia and volunteer to the Russian military. You understand everything, I'm sure, so far you understand. This is not the only person that did it like this. Russians have numerous people committing war crimes, and the same thing was all over the place. Simply disappearing of the radar by pronouncing them as dead, etc., etc. It was something that was part of MK Ultra, something I grew up with, something I grew up with watching, witnessing. People just like this guy disappearing off the map, and afterwards meeting their spouses. Basically, the spouses would go spend time with these people. These people already have some kind of apartment building or something like that. Also, the Russian government gave them, and so on. And this wife here, this sweetheart here that you see, that should have married me when I was young, and she was young and pretty. She's still pretty. She already had selected also how she would get old, and then systematically she would be gone of the picture, basically. That's how they do it. These people only report themselves to life like a family people. Once they somebody is requesting information about them, or when community senses that somebody is stalking, investigating case, and so on, that's when you see them like in a normal life. But other than that, what they do is, a lady like this typically will go to some apartment building to meet with the husband every fucking day, and people would even have spouses visit their families. Nobody really knows about what the fuck goes on. This is on the other side of the world in Russia, where you cannot even get anywhere. You cannot even make it to Russia, folks. Try to go to Russia, you can see how fucked up this stuff is. You need to make the reservation, you need to all kinds of stuff in proof that you have the reservation in Russia, and all kinds of stuff. This is completely fucked up. And you travel, practically, yes, you get people who get to travel with you and watch everything you do, and so on. So, with this being said, I don't have anything else I would say. Probably Donald Trump is going to be a little bit disappointed, but in the case, everything that I stated in the video is already proven by my stating that Donald Trump is his personal friend, not only acquaintance. The two know each other for at least, I'm gonna say, since '95, and that's a long time, man. That's like 30 years. The man is 46. This guy joined this Illuminati club when he was about 16 years of age. What the hell can I say? And no, actually even earlier. But this girl here, this one was since she was a child or something like that. She is out of Texas. She's out of Texas. She's out of Bush family. So I don't know how much good this video does, but Ukraine is in extremely bad shit shape. That's basically how the karma works. Karma is a slap bitch. You know. Karma. A karma. Karma, that's a slap bitch. Pla 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 pow. Basically, folks. Ukrainians, in a big way, betrayed me. In a big way, I feel betrayed me. And I'm not going to say they betrayed me, but they betrayed themselves. Because they had it for the West to join NATO, to join European Union. And along the way, it appears they settled for corruption, organized crime, criminality, and, you know, then this shit happens. Then karma. You know, karma is a slap bitch. That's a foo bitch. That's the way it works. You know? Shit you do to people, you don't even know where the fuck you're going, only means that you don't know who the fuck you are. Stuff you do to people, that's even worse for you. You understand? And then what happens is you find yourself on a wide open slap bitch area, you know, without having absolutely anyone you could count on to protect you. Because you know how the bitch karma works? Something that is designed for you, you cannot out-cheat no matter what the fuck you do. And so Ukrainians, this is just like Polacks and all others. They always think that they can outsmart, you know. I watch these people. In seldom cases, maybe you can even outsmart something. Sometimes, but that's like really, really seldomly. Today I watched a video about the Spanish king, how he outsmarted neo-Nazi Germany, and how he also outsmarted allies during the World War II and during the World War I. You know, how the Spain avoided getting itself directly into the war after the Spain was in, I don't know, 1895 destroyed by United States of America in war with the United States of America, and have lost all its colonies, such as Philippines, you know, and etc., 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 right? Very seldomly you can manipulate, calculate, and so on. So, you know what I learned in life? I learned that when you hit, you gotta hit real hard. And what I'm trying to say is that stuff that you do, even if nobody's behind you, even if you're betrayed like I was, from entire world left behind for dead, if you continue to do the stuff you do, if you continue to hit hard, because this is really hard. That's every one of punctures like this can send you to a psychiatric hospital, because the claims you make could be disputed. It could be doubtful. It could be, you know, on top of that, they awarded me with a psychiatric certificate in 2012, right? But if you do the stuff, and you do the good stuff, and you do it persistently, you know, you build your own way. Actually, you burn your way through the enemy lines. Now, whether they like it or not, because when you do it, you just go through. And that's the way the bitch karma works. The bitch karma works like this, that the people who go sideways, who fly sideways, more likely than not, at one point in time, they get fucked. They get screwed along the way. Now, if you do your stuff, like I said, more likely than not, persistently, you will make it to the finish line. So I regret Ukraine. Ukraine has some growing up to do. When I say Ukraine, I don't even mean Zelensky, because, you know, I explain everything about Zelensky, about these issues and so on. Yeah, and so everything in life costs. And so when you learn something, that means that you have deserved it. Well, you're not going to get back your territory, I think, but you get to keep whatever the fuck you have left. hey, it's always a good side to something, right? Sorry, I mean, I know, I understand all that, but you know, I completely understand that you depended on these people, that you were in a situation like this. But I had Ukrainian people from Ukrainian government insisting me that this case can never be finished here in Slovenia. That the way this case maybe, if ever, is going to finish, is going to be by my immigrated outside of Slovenia. Because inside of the Slovenia, because of Slovenian government, this case can never be finished, etc., 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 etc. Rather than solving the problem that concerns everybody in Eastern Europe, they settle for some kind of logic and shit and stuff that has nothing to do with the reality. That it's like a bitch karma, slap back bitch, returns right back, and the people you protected will fuck you up in a gentlemanic way, basically. That's how that is. You know, that's how that stuff is. This guy, he was even looking for a husband for her, which rather sounded to me like he had another woman, whatever. But I didn't sense that he would have another woman, because, as I earlier stated, they were getting themselves ready on how, you know, they will be visiting one another and stuff like this. So this is totally messed up. Totally messed up. This guy is gonna disappear. This guy is gonna disappear.
Launched a so-called share.
Oh, this is pretty good. I like that here. I like this profiling here.
Russia launched a so-called.
No, I don't have any kind of problem with the way the people look. Don't understand me wrong. But when you make yourself like, you know, that it should be evident to me, something that is really not, and you're making point. MK is a torture, in case you did not know. Through torture, then fuck it, what the fuck is there to say? So that's the future of the Telegraph, I guess. In fight against one majesty, but behind that majesty, it's all kinds of idiots that are maybe even majesties even more. He's young, and so there is definitely hope for him. And he was such a nice student, I remember him as such a nice guy. And then it took only one time that he pissed me off, angered me like that. And when I see the article like this, my God, if you were in my pants, you go vomit when you see the stuff like
Russian
this.
citizenship.
Come on, eh? So that's all I want to say. Talk to Donald Trump about this guy. Donald Trump got the signal from Putin, and so this one is coming. Either to disappear before he's going to even head to the front lines, or to simply go to the front lines. Basically, I don't know, maybe he's going to do some promotion for the troops at the front lines as a reporter or something. Who knows what's going to be. Maybe he's going to be a Rambo on the front line. What I did regret during MKUltra is basically worms like this getting caught, and once getting caught by the Ukrainian side, worms like this automatically would be released to American side, which I would typically not charge them with anything. And that's your way back to United States of America for free or whatever. And I thought that just is not right, stuff like that. It's not fair. But, you know, this is a really funny wars these days, the way the wars are done. It's all negotiated in the background. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This is exactly how the MKUltra was. A lot of torture, a lot of all kinds of situations, intimidation. I actually was right here watching this page from her. I understand. It says here, his name is Anna Katz. I don't think I need to make a point. She was nice, and she offered me her sisters. I think that these are 2 sisters that she has. And, man, I don't know why, but this one here is still available. The one on the right side. Is it just me? I know I'm not something special when it comes to the looks. But yeah, I mean, I was no good anyways. I caused a lot of problems and devastation and depression and so on and so forth. And that's always handy when you try to get ahead with your career, money-wise, whatever the hell you're doing, and if you pertain to some kind of MK Ultra high-profile cause. The way Ukraine handled this stuff, I didn't finish this stuff. Ukraine handled this stuff totally suicidally, like on a suicide mission or something like that, like without any fucking logic. Totally suicidal, crazy, insane, completely. It's a simple thing. When you have a high-profile guy like myself, like this, you do, if he's on your side, you definitely do want to keep up with him, and if not directly, then indirectly make one known. Yeah, you understand? Because his presence cannot be bad for you, regardless of what the fuck he talks. And I'm a prudent guy. The stuff that I demonstrate on my blog is a prudence. It's intelligence, intelligent, prudent, smart, hardworking, diligent, fanatical to his cause, dedicated, incredibly dedicated, and incredibly intelligent. What the fuck does it matter if King, in a parenthesis, Charles, is depicted as a communist when truth, when fact? What the fuck does it matter? What the fuck does it matter if you say about whoever, whatever the fuck you say, as long as it's true? You don't understand. Every politician, every royalty is a subject to the political scrutiny. They can only go that far and that far. And they can even go, if they're royals, they can even go further. But they can only go further for as long as their subordinates cover up for them. Obviously, when the news comes out, no longer are in position to cover up for them. What that means is basically they are voided automatically. And the royalties themselves, they are exposed directly to the white public scrutiny, pressure, etc., etc. You understand? If you lie, that's one thing. But when you talk facts, that's a completely different story. I'd be interested, highly interested, if I was a leader of Ukraine, in an individual like myself. Because, why? Because I would not want to lose the war gentlemanic, in a gentleman way. Just as I described right here. You understand? I would not want to lose the fucking war in a gentlemanic way because I cannot afford one. It's as simple as that. People do too much care, too much give shit about what is depicted to the public as impenetrable wall of conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories, once proven, especially if you can prove a lot of conspiracy theories as real, they no longer are conspiracy theories. I am a conspiracy theory who was a conspiracy theory before the conspiracy theory could be proven. But the conspiracy type of conspiracy proven theory I was, that actually have proven itself as real. The conspiracy theory proved itself as real. Can only be in case of a live human being. So I be interested in a guy like myself, because I know for sure that as much as those want to play gentlemen, and as much as those want to portray themselves as useful, and etc., and etc., etc., it's a completely different cards on the table when somebody's describing about what went on in the background. So I don't know. Ukraine bet on a politician, on a scammer, on a scammers that cannot even make for a conspiracy theory when it comes to the West. Not even for that, because they completely controlled, like a remote controller, cars, drones, whatever, toys I should say, and only must follow whatever is designed for them to follow, and that's all there is to it. And that's a bad situation. That's too damn bad like this. A lot of people died, a lot of people lost their lives, and we are heading toward the 4th year of this war, and the news is that next to a lot of blah 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 and stuff that went on, all negotiated, just as I described on my blog, the war is coming to an end in favor of Russia. That's the news. And the news is that Ukraine is now being firmly occupied, talking about those parts, even newly acquired parts in 2022, for over 3 years, yes. That's very bad news, because in 3 years you can do a lot of damage to the natives, you can displace them, you can move them to other parts of Russia. I'm gonna say the memories on Ukraine start to fade away. New image appears in the heads of the people globally. Those maps, the ongoing news about, yada yada yada, actually nothing happening, is just becoming more and more part of reality. So yeah, that's the way it goes. You want to watch The Gentlemanic Way to understand the gentlemanic way, then this is the stuff you want to go over right here. I did it for you. Ukraine is going to have to figure out something, because job of the West is to prove that they were helpful. Okay, that's all there is to it. You will understand.
This guy is actually fucking dangerous. He at one point was even discussing about what to do with me. Just what degree of danger could I pose for one. And that was actually the time when I was dumped into the psychiatric hospital. This is definitely not a funny guy. This is definitely the guy that you want to take lightly. This is definitely the guy that you do want to learn all about in respect to Mr. Donald Trump also, or maybe even especially what exactly he was doing in Russia inside of our house here in the city of the Novo Mesto, beginning 1995. What exactly was it that motivated one in meetings with the Putin, with the Russians so much? What exactly went on with this guy in his head in respect to Russia? Because this guy was in this city, Istra and Moscow, and in Russia on who knows how many occasions before he appeared himself, wandering over the streets of Russia over there, seeing how the Russia looks like. I mean, he needs to fucking give some explanations about, like a little deeper explanation about his whereabouts, his history in Russia. This guy has a long history in Russia. And yes, there was some kind of apartment building in some location they had, and they were already training this stuff on how she would go visit and stuff like this, and how he would also appear at home and so on and so forth. This is the shit I was watching during MK Ultra, not with one guy, but with many different individuals involved in it, many different couples, I should say.